Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring the Dames of Asstoria core rulebook. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring this role-playing game where you play as monster girls that aren't fully accepted in the world, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to continue taking a look at the world of Asstoria, specifically the countries of Asstoria. We begin with the Althaevan Kingdom. Founded after the Slime Mimic War, the sandy desert island was gifted to Gadija of the Sands as a reward for her part in bringing the Slime Mimic War to an end and for saving the previous Astorian king's life. Gadija married Deathstone Astor, who was 7th in line for the Astorian throne, and King Richard Astor's younger brother, and established her kingdom as a haven for Lamia and other cold-blooded demi-fauna. Much of the kingdom's culture is an attempt at reclaiming and reviving the histories and practices lost during years of war, servitude, and hiding for the Lamia people. Many of the names, including the name of the kingdom, come from the oral traditions and stories passed through the ages. The Althaevan kingdom values intelligence, learning, and the arts, establishing many institutions to promote them, including a prominent school of magic. The primary diet of the Althaevan people are the various coastal and deep-sea fish which surround the nearby port cities. Many common folk keep gardens housed in domes of glass to grow a variety of spices and grains to further flesh out their diet. Next we have the Khant Empire, a lush rainforest claimed by the Arachne, Amare Khant. Much like the Althaevan kingdom, the Khant Empire is a new country founded by one of the heroines of the Slime Mimic War. However, unlike their sister nation, the Khant Empire was reclaimed and annexed by force. After the Slime Mimic War, Amare saw the poor treatment the humans gave her and the preference granted to the other dames. Enraged by the paltry trinkets the humans tried to pass off as rewards, Amare gathered what surviving Arachne she could find and claimed the southeastern rainforest of Asstoria as her proper compensation. Naturally, the kingdom of Asstoria found this unacceptable and dispatched forces to claim the territory back. Due to the natural defense of the Cassidian Rapids and the Erstonian Mountains, which border her empire, Amare and her army successfully repelled the Astorian invaders, who eventually gave up on reclaiming the land after several failed attempts. Much of Khant culture is an attempt to separate themselves from Astorian culture. The people of Khant prefer to live in huts, high in the canopy of the rainforest, with their construction made of deadwood and spider silk. Khant cuisine tends to be considered unique by the overly polite. Much of it consists of fermented stews and prey animals, hunted and slow-cooked whole without butchering or cleansing. Pastes and purees made from animal and plant matter are also popular, as less solid, more liquefied foods tend to be preferred by the Arachne. The people of the Khant Empire speak a slang-ridden form of Astorian Common they have taken to calling Sodari. Next we have the Harpy homeland of Tepeti. Often called Tepeti by outsiders, the Harpy homeland is less a country and more a collection of islands, forgotten by the rest of the world. Residents of the Tepeti Islands worship a demi-planar who protects their island with strong winds and terrible storms, preventing outsiders from coming near. The Harpies of Tepeti rarely leave their homeland, with the exception of those who leave to find mates. Culturally, the Harpies have no formal name for their country, nor are they any form of unified people. The name Tepeti is the result of an Astorian noble misunderstanding a Harpy traveler, mistranslating Tepitle Alte Pemeti, meaning the village over the mountains, and the mistranslation became the popular term for the Harpy homeland. The Harpy people prefer living high in the volcanic mountains of the islands of Tepeti, generally building their wooden houses on stilts off the sides of cliffs or steep hills. Much of their art encompasses the heavy use of obsidian and feathers. The people of Tepeti worship Quetzalcoatl, an ancient demi-planar from before the War of Dethronement, and the aspect of wind. Quetzalcoatl protects the Harpy homelands from invaders by creating and controlling the harsh winds and brutal storms which surround the islands. As part of their religion, the Harpies of Tepeti must venture into Mount Ege-Kameti, the largest volcano in the region and home of Quetzalcoatl, and source enough obsidian to fashion a weapon of their choice. This is the first half of their coming-of-age ceremony. After creating a weapon under the guidance of a master weaponsmith, the Harpy is considered a legal adult and tasked with leaving the islands to find a mate. It is only after they successfully return that they are considered a mature adult with the right to partake in politics, self-governance, and independence. Tepeti cuisine consists of oceanic fish, usually served with or stuffed with seeds, grains, and berries, and roasted over a fire. The people of Tepeti speak their own language, consisting primarily of chirps, squawks, peeps, and other bird noises. This language is often referred to as Chirpost by outsiders. Then we have the United Federation of Isles. The United Federation of Isles is a grouping of 18 city-states which occupy the Western Archipelagos. Consisting of cities above and below the surface of the ocean, the Federation sustains its economy through tourism, trade, and the transportation of goods by sea. While many of these cities are comprised of unique and storied cultures, and while they share a unified economic force, they do not tend to share in many cultural aspects. Sometimes referred to as the Federation, the citizens of these city-states are primarily aquatic demi-fauna. The people of the Federation don't tend to share much in the way of culture, and what little they do share tends to come from greater merfolk culture. Unsurprisingly, the people of the Federation tend to eat a lot of seafood, with a large penchant for fried shellfish and mollusks. The people of the Federation primarily speak Astorian Common. This, of course, excludes many regional slang and dialects as their own language. Then we have the Arthron Empire. The Arthron Empire is a ravenous empire, bent on conquering the globe. Primarily made up of hive insect demifauna, they enslave humans to serve as labor and breeding stock. The people of the Arthron Empire are primarily eusocial insects. This has led to a large cultural inclination of putting the empire and the hive before oneself. Many of the resources are shared and distributed as needed. Despite this cultural inclination for sharing resources, it is less a generous way of life and more a means to an end, for the citizens of Arthron too are a resource to be shared and used. In the Arthron Empire, there is an overarching belief of might makes right. So much so that the position of queen is not a hereditary position handed down through kin in any form of succession, but a position of power to be earned and contested. Any citizen of the Arthron Empire may challenge the current queen to combat, with the victor becoming the new ruler. Surprising to many, the people of the Arthron Empire speak Astorian Common. Most tend to assume that they speak in weird insectoid cliques or with pheromones, but most of those communication methods are considered an extension of body language. Next we have the Izvirki Republic. A republic made up of demifauna and humans who view each other as equals. It is considered by many to be a refuge for escaped demifauna. Governed by a council of elected officials, the Izvirki Republic is often fighting the Arthron Empire to prevent them from invading or kidnapping their human citizens. Izvirki populace pride themselves on their ruggedness and ability to withstand the coldest winters and harshest storms. Despite the lack of any formal or professional military force, many of the residents are used to naval combat, due to their need to protect themselves during the short summer months from Arthron invaders. Due to both the short growing seasons and time spent on self-defense, there are not many crops farmed in Izvirki. The Izvirki people primarily speak Astorian Common as their main language, though as a nation that accepts refugees and escaped slaves, many people in the Izvirki Republic speak multiple languages. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about the socio-economics of Asstoria, as well as life in a general sense. I like it that there is so much detail when it comes to the different countries of Asstoria. I just gave you a few details. And this obviously greatly encourages the players to interact with the world of Asstoria. You are not just visiting different adventure hubs. You are experiencing entire cultures and political structures that could serve as seeds for adventures or an entire campaign. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.